Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Cook With Me playlist. And this is a playlist where I basically cook an entire meal from scratch to the end. And today we are having some turmeric rice and saucy stew. And with me here, I have my list of ingredients. And from this corner, I have my washed pishori rice. And for pishori rice, you have to be careful and wash it till the water runs clear so that it's shikane. I have some turmeric. Then for my stew, I have my peas and carrots for garnishing. Here I have my garlic, ginger, coriander stems, and my onions. I also have my coriander leaves, some salt, my saucy, some tomato paste, and some Royco powder. And for the list of spices, today I went with some bay leaf, some basil, dried basil that is. I have some chicken masala, but you can also use any other masala that you like. I have some paprika, some curry powder, and some black pepper. And without further ado, let's get started. So for today's recipe, I had planned to make the mince saucy, but tell me why I couldn't find them. So I decided to go with the chunks, but I really don't like them because they look like wood and actually taste like wood. But I'm going to show you a very simple recipe that you can use and you're going to love the results. So first things first, we start by soaking our saucy, and I've used some warm water to soak them. Then I'm going to let these sit here for about 10 to 15 minutes thereabout till they soak almost all the water. Then let's start frying our rice. Once my pan is hot enough, I'll go in with about 2 tablespoons of cooking oil. Then once this is also hot, I'll go in with my turmeric. And that will ensure that the spice is evenly distributed. Then I'll also go in with my washed rice. And you can see our rice is beautiful. It is already yellow in color. Then I'll go in with my salt. These are 2 glasses of rice, and I'll go in with 4 glasses of water. I'll cover this and I'll be back once it starts boiling. Now that this is nice and boiling, I'm going to switch the fires and let's start cooking our stew. Once my sufuria is hot, I'll go in with about 1.5 tablespoons of cooking oil. Then once that is also hot, I'll go in with my onions. I'm going to cook this, and once they start turning translucent, I'll go in with my next ingredient. Now that I'm happy with this, I'll go in with my ginger. Then I'll cook this for about a minute, and once it's fragrant, I'll go in with my coriander stems. Let's add in our coriander stems as well as my garlic. And I'm also going to go in with my turmeric at this point, as well as my bay leaf. Then I'm going to let this cook for about a minute, then I'll be back. Then we are going to go in with my tomato paste, and I have added some hot water into mine. Then I'm going to let this cook as well for about a minute till I'm certain that my tomato paste is well done. Then I'll go in with my spices, except for the Royco powder and my salt. And you can already see that our sauce looks yummy. So I'm also going to let the spices cook. This is looking great, and it's at this point that we are going to go in with our Sossi. And as you can see, our Sossi have absorbed most of the water, and I'm just going to add it in together with its juices. I'm also going to rinse this with some water. And remember, Sossi contains some salt, so we do not want to add our salt before we are certain what amount of salt we need to add. So I'm going to let this blend in for about 2 minutes or so. Then I'll be back to add some salt, and we will almost be done at that point. So this has been simmering for about 4 to 5 minutes thereabout, and I've added some little bit of water. So I'm going to taste for salt, and today's recipe doesn't require salt because this already has enough salt. Remember, we had some Royco powder. This is where it comes in, and it's going to be a thickening agent for today's recipe. And I've added it to some cold water, and this is what we have. Then I'm going to add that in here as well. Then I'm going to cover this and give it about 2 minutes so that it can thicken up. Then our meal is basically done. You can already see that the stew has thickened up. Our meal is done at this point, so I'll start by removing my bay leaf because this is not edible. Then I'll switch this off, and I'm going to garnish it with some coriander leaves. Then remember our carrots and peas. This is where they come in, and I'm going to dip them. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to let this sit for about a minute or so as I prepare the other side, and also so that the flavor can soak into our meat. As you've seen, it was that easy preparing this Sossi stew with some turmeric rice, and I've also served mine with an avocado. And let's begin. But before then, let me say that this is not real meat. This is just protein. That's an imitation of meat, and they also indicated that it contains more protein than the kawaida protein, that is the animal protein or the plant protein. So I think this is a very good option if you are allergic to the protein meat or any other kind of protein. Please try out this recipe. And good. Wow. And you can see the stew is thick. This is good. Mm. Wow. Wow. You have to try this. This is such a great combination. I hope you've learned something, and also hope you're going to try this recipe. That's it for today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.